In December 1895, the year of the first public screening organized by Louis Auguste Lumière brothers in Paris is accepted as the date of the birth of cinematography is not true. Why? The beginning of cinematography can be traced back to the 1870s, when in the USA and in France, two persons were interested for the application for using a new method to study the movements. In California, beginning in 1878, the English-born photographer Maybridge was the first one to find a solution using multi-camera for shooting animal locomotion, especially the gait of horse. This experiment were funded by multi-millionaire railroad tycoon Leland Stanford, who was interested in finding a scientific basis for the training of his race horses. This is the first picture. And following, Maybridge collaborated with a neurologist in Philadelphia, with Duncan, to apply the cinema to shoot the movements in a normal and in a pathological condition. Later, two other neurologists, in particular Walter Gringar's Chase and Theodore Weissenberg, applied the first application of cinema after epilepsy in 1985, and Weissenberg was the president of the American Neurology Society, applied the cinematography in the condition. This is photogram animated. You consider this one which disorder? This is a tremor of the head. This is pressure, it's working. And the last is, it was a famous testing in the past, Parkinson. This is the portrait of Chase, the medical and the surgical journal of Boston, where he published the first photograms. This is the French. Another person involved in cinema was the French physiologist Marais, who was inspired to take up chronophotography for his motion studies and decided to use a single photographic rifle with a rotating glass plate. Between 1888 and 1890, he made the camera more akin to early commercial cinematography camera. And in this picture, in particular on your left, he is in a Salpêtrière hospital with Albert Lond. Lond was a strictly collaborator of Sherco. This is a photography of Marais in Naples because he worked between Paris and in the winter season in Naples. This is the application of the cinematography at the Stazione Geologica in Naples. This is the list of the European neuroscientists involved for the first application of the cinema in neuroscience. In France, Romania, Germany, unfortunately we haven't films of this country, United Kingdom, Belgium, Italy, and the Netherlands. Russia, I haven't films. Why is interesting? We consider after this normal documentation in human being, and below is pathological documentation. But in England, the cinema was associated with X-ray by this Scott physician, John McIntyre, in 1897. He considered the first photograph were on the moving legs of a frog and the complete cycle of the movement of the heart and the digestive system. Georg Marinescu, a Romanian neurologist, as mentioned before, studied in Paris with Jean-Martin Charcot between 1898 and 1902. He conducted a cinematography project recording and analyzing a series of neurological conditions in patients. He perfected the application of filming technique to clinical neurology and published 5 papers based on cinematography analysis, distinguished pathological and functional disorder.
Starting as early as 1898, these pathological movements were filmed at the hospital Pantelimon in Bucharest. Here we can see the original negatives. These films had only one pair of perforations per frame, typical of the system used by the first Lumiere cameras. These extraordinary films, which are an important record in the history of medicine, were considered lost forever until their rediscovery in 1970. These films provided an opportunity to analyze increasing movement disorders produced by progressive ataxia. The film recording made it possible to study in detail the disruption of movement from organic hemiplegia.
Pay attention to this patient.
This woman's case of hysteric hemiplegia, said to have been caused by a quarrel with her husband, was treated and cured by hypnosis.
After a few seconds. This is important anyway. In Italy, this neurophysiologist, Osvaldo Corivanti, studied the role of cerebellum and the frontal lobe in the movement. He collaborated with different neurologists in Europe, in Italy and Germany, and published in particular in Germany papers.
This plate has been taken from a publication which reported on how locomotion was affected by surgery on the cerebellum. The original film was shot by the Italian film pioneer Filoteo Alberini. Here, the published pictures have been animated.
You can distinguish which animals was abducted by frontal and cerebellum. The white dog was without cerebellum, and the black dog was without frontal. Okay. Another pioneer was this Belgian neurologist, Arthur van Goethen.
The films you are about to see are the oldest Belgian nitrate films still surviving. They are the work of one of the leading figures of Belgian neurology at the turn of the century, Arthur van Goethen. They have been restored by the Belgian National Film Archives, where they are preserved today. Born in Antwerp in 1861, he entered the Faculty of Sciences of the Université Catholique de Louvain. In 1886, he was appointed Professor of Anatomy at the Faculty of Medicine, although he was not an MD, an exceptional feat in the history of the university. While studying medicine, he published one of his major works, L'anatomie du système nerveux de l'homme. In 1894, he got his MD. 1 year later, he became a member of the Association Belge de Photographie, in which he was very active. As we see with this cartoon from the student journal, Ons Leven. This association organized the first projection of cinematography in Louvain in 1895, at which Van Goethen was present. In 1900, he founded the scientific journal Neironauks, and it is in this journal that he published his first paper illustrated with films. The title is dramatic. It is a case report of a poor butcher who was stabbed in the back. The consequence was a complex lesion of the spinal cord, and to illustrate the peculiar gait of this patient, Van Goethen uses some strips of film. In a footnote to this paper, he explains that for 2 years now he's been using cinematography in neurology. From then on, he used this technique extensively to demonstrate how to examine a neurological patient and to highlight various neurological disorders.
Recognize the type.
Different gait abnormalities are shown in the
it's
following
a long
sequences.
history anyway, but we jump because it's interesting for technical aspect this place, in particular for technician expert in cinematography, because this neurologist adapted a camera for a large figure and then restrict on the detail of the symptoms. Another pioneer is Camillo Negro. Camillo Negro is famous for the palsy, the birth palsy, for the description of the cogwheel mentioned by Axel before. And is famous in the expert in cinematography applied in neuroscience for this film, the Roman mask.
This sequence, shot by Roberto Omegna, shows a case of induced hysteria. The patient is wearing a mask to remain anonymous. The original film consisted of several sequences. Its first screening took place at the Reale Accademia di Medicina in Turin. Negro made this film to give all students an opportunity to learn from the observation of unusual cases.
You consider the impairment of the application of cinematography. This is not a hospital, it's a theater. It's associated with kind of neuropsychiatric disorder. It's a hysteria. In this case, is a particular disorder studied in that time, epilepsy hysteria. This disorder was studied by Charcot, and he considered a psychological aspect. And Negro, you consider the hand applied the clinician on the abdomen to stop the hysteria. The window is not true, it's false. The window. Yeah. Recently, my colleague and friends in Turin discovered the mask one. There are more one woman. Slow. Yeah. This original film were found 2 years ago in Romania because the film were lost in Italy, and strange case we found in Romania. But Negro is famous for another famous neurological, real neurological condition, for example, in this case for Huntington and many others. Another Italian pioneer is Vincenzo Neri. Vincenzo Neri collaborated with Babinski. In Paris, he learned the application of cinema in Paris in collaboration with Babinski, Legerin, and Kermari, and he showed different patients of these neurologists. He published on Nouvelle Iconographie de Salpêtrière this paper about the application of cinema in 1908, and in particular a patient described by Babinski on semiotic of cerebellum. this is the pictures, but we found in 2011 this film. This is a test for you. 2 questions. Which is the person normal and why the presence of cats? Few seconds. Do you recognize which is the person normal? Why?
In the middle.
Middle, why? It's easy to...
He has a shirt.
Because
No, this
for the dress. Yeah? No. Yeah, this is dressing. Why the cats? The presence of the cat?
For the speech,
Eh?
so we can evaluate the speech of the movement.
Yeah, exactly. For the distraction. Exactly. Because the normal patient is distracted by presence of the cat. Pathological condition. So not possible. Another pioneer is a French. He collaborated with Pierre Marie in Paris, and he knew lyrics. And with this paper, he explained the importance of cinematography in science, in medicine. This is Seton. This is difficult, but this patient has European. It's difficult, I know, because Axel told about this disorder. Parkinson. It's difficult. Okay, this is a paper publishing the photogram of a patient affected by Parkinson's disease. He presented this paper at the Académie de Médecine in Paris. And the last is a Dutch neurophysiologist, Rademacher. This is another finding recently, about 2013, by Italian group, because we discovered a Neris book in Bologna, and this Neri book mentioned Rademacher, and in Netherlands, the people, the government, didn't know about these films. And now these films are restored, about 100 films, and we found in a bunker. Bunker in the Netherlands. The importance of Rademacher is his studies on attacks on person. Consider this patient, young patient, was operated by a cerebellar tumor. This is after he has his method improved after the treatment. Okay. I hope this evening, tonight, to show you the importance of the application of cinema, but not only in the past, but in the present, because we use cinema everywhere with our mobile phone, computer, and etc. etc. My knowledge of this long list of collaborators. I hope to get Russian contribution. Thank you, and we finish.